Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. Come with me, let me show you the way. The mere fact that you're saying, let me show you the way, is implying that you don't know where to go. So why am I going to follow you when we're both lost pilgrims on this journey, on this great adventure? And following no one is something which I have found liberating on my journey, and realizing that yes, there are guides who will help you along the way, but essentially we are our own salvation and our own damnation. In essence, we are creating everything in our reality. We are co-creators. We're not separate from everything around us. And a lot of people talk about God and religion and all of these things, and in essence, when we talk of even prophets of these books, these ancient books such as the Bible or whatever it may be, a lot of them, they had this experience which they were able to see things and open their eye, their third eye, and able to see things and realize that everything around us is an illusion. And everything is part of our own subjective reality. There's also an objective reality as well, which doesn't care about what you think about it. The sun doesn't care whether or not you like it. It's still going to shine. So when they realize these great truths, then other people were inspired by them. But instead of going on their own journey, they just praise these so-called prophets, and they actually live through them vicariously, instead of actually realizing that you have to go through your own metamorphosis. That's what, when we see the caterpillar laying in the chrysalis, transforming into this butterfly, everyone has to walk their own path. And if we meet on the way, that's beautiful. But a lot of the times we're in this conveyor belt society where everyone is copying other people. And a lot of us, we are deceived by fear, because even if we talk about heaven and hell, they're just a state of mind. But what's happened is, through manipulation, they have made people believe that these are places. And a lot of people, because they are not actually tapping into themselves, they also become fearful. And that's how it is. There's a great story of how the devil was outside a church crying, and a boy went up to him and he said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "Everybody is blaming he said, "Everybody is blaming me for everything on the planet." And sometimes that's how it is. When you realize that God is not separate from the devil, and all of these are just energies in a 3D form, and we're living in a world of polarity. And in essence, it's up to us to really cultivate balance. That's what the world needs, because the world has become lopsided. But in essence, you have to follow who you are. That's the most paramount thing I learned on my journey. Don't follow anybody, because if you do, you'll only end up in a ditch somewhere in the North Pole. and that's it, because it's liberating to realize that we have to be free from authority. Follow the leader. Follow the crowd. Be popular. Go where the noise is. And for me on my journey, where the noise is, I'm not there. Where the crowd is, I'm learning more and more that that's not always the wisest place to go. That's not always the best place to go, because a lot of the times that's what we call the hive mentality, where everybody is being bred to think the same, to feel the same, to respond the same way. People have to be unique as they were created to be. And sometimes when we're playing follow the leader, a lot of us, we don't realize that we have to lead ourselves. And we have to throw away your television, throw away anything which is limiting you to become greater. Nothing is good or bad. There are only consequences. but at the same time is how we're interacting with these things. Is it taking you away from discovering your true self? Is it blocking your own journey to self-knowledge? Because a lot of us, we feel this is the only way it has to be. Many of us, we're living in older maiden. It's either this or it's that. And I realized, hey, nothing is set in stone. You can etch your name in the sand, but a moment later, the water is going to come and wash it away. So therefore, that shows me that we're living in a transient universe full of change. And therefore, there are no rules. There are no boundaries. There is no one way to do anything. In fact, there are millions of ways. There are millions of ways. And that's what it is. It's all about, for me, becoming more expansive. And a lot of the times when I talk of this kind of zombie culture, this drone culture where people are being turned into automatons, simply because many people are afraid to really become intimate with themselves. That's the thing. Everything out there, in my mind, is just, like I always say, a mirror. So therefore, who are you following? When you're following someone, you're going outside of yourself. But for me, following is about going within. And that journey hasn't even begun for so many of us. Many of us, we're externalizing, we're blaming out there, when really and truly we have to start looking in here as well. We have to start pulling up our pants. And it's liberating. But more and more, I feel the solutions can only come when people stop following just the in crowd and become who they are, their authenticity. Even me, I realize that I don't know everything. And for me, that's the more and more I realize I don't know, it makes me realize that we're living in a mysterious universe. And as well, people can't be so sure of themselves all the time and say, okay, I have the answers, because only when the questions are born is where growth takes place. And it's even when parents have decisions for us, they say, okay, I want my child to become a lawyer. And no, we have to follow what's in our heart, because everyone has a different calling. We all came here to do different things. So I'm not following anyone. Don't follow me. Follow yourself. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace.